What's up, rock stars? Boom! Hey, hey, hey! So today's Catholic saint of the day. This is a good one. Saint Maximillian Kolbe. He died a martyr. So today we remember a saint who loved Christ more than life itself, a martyr of the faith. Born Raymond Kolbe on January 8th, 1894 in the Kingdom of Poland, part of the Russian Empire. He was a Polish conventional Franciscan friar and a martyr in the German death camp of Auschwitz during World War II. Saint Maximilian Kolbe was very active in promoting the Immaculate Virgin Mary and is known as the Apostle of the Consecration to Mary. Much of his life was strongly influenced by a vision he had of the Virgin Mary when he was 12. That night I asked the Mother of God what was to become of me. Then she came to me holding two crowns, one white, the other red. She asked me if I was willing to accept either of these crowns. The white one meant that I should persevere in purity, and the red one that I should become a martyr. 1 year after his vision, Kolbe and his elder brother Francis joined the conventional Franciscans. In 1910, Kolbe was given the religious name Maximilian after being allowed to enter the novitiate, and in 1911 he professed his first vows. At the age of 21, Kolbe earned a doctorate degree in philosophy from the Pontifical Gregorian University. He would also earn a doctorate in theology by the time he was 28. Smart guy. Saint Maximilian Kolbe organized the Militia Immaculata, Army of the Immaculate, after witnessing demonstrations against Pope Pius X and Benedict XV. His goal was to work for the conversion of sinners and enemies of the Church, specifically the Freemasons, and he would so with the intercession of Mary. In 1918, he was ordained a priest and continued his work of promoting Mary throughout Poland. Over the next several years, Kolbe took on publishing. He founded a monthly periodical titled Night of the Immaculate. He also operated a religious publishing press and founded a new conventional Franciscan monastery in Capilano, which became a major religious publishing center. Kolbe also founded monasteries in both Japan and India. Dude got around. To this day, the monastery in Japan remains prominent in the Roman Catholic Church in Japan. In 1936, Kolbe's poor health forced him to return home to Poland, and once World War II invasion by Germany began, he became one of the only brothers to remain in the monastery. He opened a temporary hospital to aid those in need. When his town was captured, Kolbe was sent to prison but released 3 months later. Kolbe refused to sign a document that would recognize him as a German citizen with his German ancestry and continued to work in his monastery, providing shelter for refugees, including hiding 2,000 Jews from German persecution. After receiving permission to continue his religious publishing, Kolbe's monastery acted as a publishing house again and issued many anti-Nazi German publications. On February 17, 1941, the monastery was shut down. Kolbe was arrested by the German Gestapo and was taken to the Pawak prison. 3 months later, he was transferred to Auschwitz. After never abandoning his priesthood, Kolbe was the victim of severe violence and harassment. Toward the end of his second month in Auschwitz, men were chosen to face death by starvation to warn against escapees. Kolbe was not chosen, but volunteered to take the place of a man with a family. It is said that during the last days of his life, Kolbe led prayers to Our Lady with the prisoners and remained calm. He was the last of the group to remain alive, after 2 weeks of dehydration and starvation. The guards gave him a lethal injection of carbolic acid. The stories tell that he raised his left arm and calmly awaited death. Saint Maximilian Kolbe died August 14th, and his remains were cremated on August 15th, the same day as the Assumption of Mary the feast day of the Assumption of Mary. Recognized as a servant of God, Kolbe was beatified as a confessor of the faith on October 17th, 1971 by Pope Paul Pope Paul VI, and canonized by Pope John Paul II on October 10th, 1982. Pope John Paul II declared Kolbe not a confessor, but a martyr. Kolbe is often depicted in a prison uniform and with a needle being injected into his arm. He is the patron saint of drug addicts, prisoners, families, and the pro-life movement, and his feast day is celebrated today, August 14th. St. Maximillian Kolbe, faithful until death, pray for us. This is a great one. The story of him, they were going to take one of the prisoners, a little more details of that is when they were picking out the prisoners, they grabbed a guy and Kolbe knew he had a family, and he said, no, take me in his place because he has a family. And that was his decision. So he spoke out and decided to actually fill in that spot for that man. So stepped in for the guy, took his place, and don't know what happened to the man, but Kolbe obviously ultimately died. Not necessarily from starvation, but he was going to anyway, but they injected him with the carbolic acid. So amazing story. There are numerous books and things you can find online about Saint Maximillian Kolbe. I highly advise you go out, check them out, and just find a book or find anything. Just do an internet search and you will find a ton of information out there for sure. So a lot has been written about him and just the heroic thing that he did, or things that he did during a crazy time in world history. So hopefully you got a lot from this one today. Share it with anybody you think might get something from it as well. Come back tomorrow for another Saint of the Day. Tomorrow is a very special day. It's the feast day, as I said. The day that his Kolbe's remains that he was cremated was on the Assumption of our Blessed Mother, the feast day for the Assumption. So we celebrate that tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your day, and hey, share your smile with the world because it just might make somebody's day.